You ever finish an anime and just sit there? Not because it was sad, not because it was hype, but because your brain just got folded like laundry. You're staring at the screen like, bro, what is reality? Who am I? Am I even real? And suddenly it's 3 a.m., you're Googling philosophy terms you can't pronounce, and your YouTube recommendations are just conspiracy theories. Yeah, today we're talking about 10 anime that will make you question everything: reality, identity, morality, society, and maybe even your Wi Fi connection. These aren't comfort anime. These aren't turn your brain off anime. These are the pause the episode and stare at the ceiling type. So grab some coffee or therapy. Let's get into it. Anime has this magical ability to look like cute drawings and then emotionally destroy you with existential philosophy. One minute you're like, oh, nice art style. Next minute, human consciousness is a fragile illusion constructed by trauma. Come on, anime, relax. The shows on this list aren't just confusing for the sake of being confusing. They actually dig into identity, reality, morality, society, trauma, technology, and what it means to be human. And they don't spoon feed you answers. They just hand you questions and walk away. Let's start with number 10. Here are 10 anime that will make you question everything.
早く飲むとと連絡を。
落ち着くんだ。
Number 10. Ergo Proxy. Sci-fi, psychological, cyberpunk, and existential. Alright, we're starting heavy. Ergo Proxy is what happens when cyberpunk meets depression and philosophy majors take over the script. Set in a dystopian future where humans live in domed cities alongside androids called autoraves, this anime doesn't just ask what if robots had feelings. It asks, what is identity? What defines humanity? Is self-awareness a blessing or a curse? And it does this while looking absolutely stylish. The atmosphere? Dark. The pacing? Slow. The vibe? You will think about this later. Relay Mayer, one of the coldest female leads in anime, walks around solving mysteries while looking like she hasn't slept since 2006. And honestly, same. Ergo Proxy doesn't explain everything. It expects you to pay attention. If you blink, you miss something important. If you zone out, congratulations, now you're confused for 3 episodes. But when it clicks, chef's kiss. This is the type of anime that makes you feel smarter just for surviving it.
夏目さん。
Number 9. Mawaru Penguin Drum. Psychological, drama, symbolism overload. Okay, if you thought Ergo Proxy was confusing, Mawaru Penguin Drum said, hold my metaphor. On the surface, it's about siblings trying to save their sister's life with the help of, yes, penguins. But underneath that, it's about fate, trauma, terrorism, family, and societal pressure. This anime does not believe in subtlety. Symbolism everywhere. Apples? Important. Trains? Very important. Penguins doing random stuff in the background? Also somehow important. Director Kunihiko Ikawara woke up and chose chaos. But here's the thing. Once you start piecing it together, you realize this show is deeply emotional. It's about people trying to escape the roles society forces on them. And suddenly, you're not laughing at the penguins anymore. You're questioning destiny. And possibly your own life choices.
にこやかに。美味しい美味しい。
Number 8. Haibane Ranmei. Drama, mystery, spiritual, and introspective. Now this one hits differently. Haibane Ranmei is about angel-like beings living in a peaceful town trying to understand who they are and why they exist. And it's so calm. Too calm. This anime doesn't shout its themes, it whispers them. It deals with guilt, redemption, forgiveness, self-worth. There's something haunting about how gentle it is. You don't even realize it's messing with your head until you're sitting there thinking, wait, is this about purgatory? It's slow, it's reflective, it respects your intelligence, and it will leave you quietly staring at the credits.
映画は嫌いなんだ。
Number 7. Paprika. Psychological, sci-fi thriller, surreal. Directed by Satoshi Kon, the man who looked at reality and said, nah. Paprika is about a device that lets therapists enter people's dreams, which sounds cool until dreams start blending with reality. And now you don't know what's real. The animation? Insane. The dream sequences? Pure chaos. The transitions? Smooth enough to make you question your own eyesight. One moment you're in a hallway, next moment that hallway is a parade of nightmare furniture and broken dolls. And the scariest part, it makes sense emotionally. Paprika doesn't just show surrealism for fun. It explores identity and how fragile our perception of reality really is. Also, if you liked Inception, just know Christopher Nolan definitely borrowed notes. So yeah, anime did it first.
先週自殺した子から
Number 6, Serial Experiments Lane. Psychological, cyber mystery, existential horror. Okay, now we're entering legendary territory. Serial Experiments Lane came out in 1998 and somehow predicted internet addiction, online personas, digital identity, and the blending of reality and virtual life before social media even existed. Lane is a quiet girl who slowly becomes entangled in the Wired, basically the early version of the internet. But this isn't a hacker anime, this is an existential crisis simulator. It asks, if you exist online, do you still exist offline? If everyone believes something, does that make it real? Watching this feels like your brain buffering. It's eerie, it's minimal, it's deeply unsettling, and somehow more relevant today than ever.
そうささやくのよ。私のゴーストが。
Number 5, Ghost in the Shell. Sci-fi, cyberpunk, philosophical identity crisis. Okay, you ever look in the mirror and think, is this really me? Yeah, Ghost in the Shell takes that thought and builds a whole cyberpunk masterpiece around it. Set in a future where cybernetic enhancements are normal and people can literally replace their bodies, this movie asks the ultimate question. If you replace every part of yourself, what's left of you? Major Motoko Kusanagi isn't just fighting cyber terrorists, she's questioning her own existence. She's mostly machine, but she has a ghost, a soul. Or does she? The pacing is slow, the atmosphere is heavy, the soundtrack feels like it's summoning ancient philosophy demons. And instead of flashy action every 5 minutes, the movie gives you long, quiet scenes that force you to think. Like, really think. It's the kind of anime that makes you pause and stare at the city skyline outside your window like you're in a cyberpunk AMV. Also, fun fact, this heavily inspired The Matrix. So yeah, anime did it first.
旅人は時々詩人になるものなのさ、エルメス。
Number 4, Kino's Journey. Adventure, philosophical, episodic, and thought-provoking. Now this one hits differently. Kino's Journey is about a traveler named Kino who visits different countries, but here's the twist. Each country represents a different ideology or moral system. One nation might value efficiency over human life. Another might legalize murder. Another might worship machines. And Kino, she doesn't interfere. She just observes, which is what makes it uncomfortable. There's no clear good guy or bad guy, just perspectives. This anime quietly asks, who are we to judge another society? Is morality absolute or just cultural? And every episode feels like a mini philosophy class disguised as a calm travel diary. It's peaceful on the surface, but internally, you're questioning humanity. Also, her talking motorcycle being the voice of reason is somehow hilarious and profound at the same time.
先行くから。
Number 3, Neon Evangelion. Mecha, psychological, trauma, and existential breakdown. Ah yes, the anime that emotionally traumatized an entire generation. You think you're watching a cool mecha show, big robots, angels, explosions, and then suddenly you're inside a 14-year-old boy's crippling depression. Shinji Ikari is not your typical shonen protagonist. He doesn't scream about friendship. He cries. He doubts himself. He spirals. And Evangelion takes the mecha genre and says, what if instead of power fantasy, we gave you therapy sessions? The show dives into self-worth, loneliness, fear of rejection, the need for validation, and by the final episodes, bro, it becomes an abstract psychological art experiment. People still debate the ending decades later. You don't just watch Evangelion, you survive it.
もしもしもしもし
Number 2, Perfect Blue. Psychological, thriller, identity, and obsession. Okay, this one is dangerous. Perfect Blue is not a comfort watch. It is anxiety in movie form. It follows a pop idol transitioning into acting, and as her public image changes, her sense of reality starts cracking. Is she losing her mind? Is someone manipulating her? Is her idol self still real? The editing is so sharp it feels like it's cutting your brain. Scenes blend together in ways that make you genuinely unsure what's real. And that's the point. It explores celebrity culture, obsession, and identity in a way that still feels disturbingly modern. Also directed by Satoshi Kon, meaning reality is optional. By the end, you're sitting there like, okay, but what actually happened? And that discomfort, that's intentional.
頑張って生きるんだぞ。
Number 1, Monster. Psychological, thriller, moral philosophy, and human nature. Let me ask you something. If you had to choose between saving a powerful politician or saving a random child, what would you do? Now imagine you choose the child, and that child grows up to become a literal monster. Yeah, that's the premise. Monster follows Dr. Kenzo Tenma, a brilliant surgeon who makes one morally righteous decision and spends the rest of the series questioning whether it destroyed the world. There are no superpowers here, no fantasy elements, no over-the-top symbolism, just people. And that's what makes it terrifying. Johann Liebert, one of the greatest villains in anime history, doesn't need flashy speeches or evil laughs. He barely raises his voice. He just understands people. He knows exactly what to say to push someone toward their darkest thoughts. And the scariest part? Everything he does feels possible. Monster asks questions like, are people born evil or made that way? Does saving a life always mean you did the right thing? How far would you go to correct your own mistake? And it doesn't give you easy answers. This anime doesn't rush. It takes its time. It builds tension slowly. It develops side characters so well that even minor arcs feel meaningful. By the end, you're not just questioning Johann, you're questioning humanity, and maybe yourself a little. This isn't a watch while eating snacks anime. This is a sit in silence after the credits roll anime. And that's why it's number 1. Final thoughts. So yeah, those were 10 anime that will make you question everything. Reality, identity, morality, technology, human nature. These aren't casual background noise shows. These are the ones you recommend carefully. Like, hey bro, watch this. But maybe not before bed. What I love about anime like this is that it trusts the audience. It doesn't spoon-feed you answers. It respects your intelligence. It challenges you. And in a world full of fast content, quick dopamine, and endless scrolling, sometimes it's nice to watch something that actually makes you think. Something that lingers. Something that sticks with you. Maybe you didn't understand everything the first time. Maybe you had to Google a few things. Maybe you finished one of these and thought, I have no idea what I just watched. But that's kind of the beauty of it. Not every story needs to hand you a clean conclusion. Sometimes the questions are the point. And honestly, that's what makes anime special. Now I'm curious, which one of these broke your brain the hardest? Was it Evangelion's ending? Lane predicting the internet apocalypse? Or Johann casually rewriting someone's will to live? Let me know in the comments. I actually read them. Sometimes. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like. It helps more than you think. And if you're into anime that hits deeper than just fights and fan service, subscribe. Because we're definitely diving into more why does this exist and why do I love it content soon. All right, that's it for today. Don't question reality too hard, and I'll see you in the next one.